Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 181 of Super Deluxe Gamescast for Thursday, March 26th. I almost screwed that one up. If you weren't already aware, Super Deluxe Gamescast goes live each and every Thursday night where we discuss the latest gaming trends and news with a wide variety of panel members and guests. We also do a lot of pre-recorded content as time allows. We used to have a morning show that we're not really doing right now.
Reading the script and realizing that we haven't gone back.
Yeah. So you know what? Screw the script. Screw the script. Right? Like, we're going off the rails already. We are here tonight. We're gonna rip and care. Okay. Rip and care until it is done, because two very big games launched this past weekend, as everybody is aware. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing released, and now the memes are real, right? Like the memes exist, they live finally, and it's been I've played a lot of both games. I'm ready to talk about them all, but first I want to ask everybody here, how is everybody doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm going back to work finally tomorrow. I'm leaving quarantine tomorrow. Martha and I have made it 2 weeks without showing any symptoms, and of course Martha tested negative when she was in the ER for her pneumonia. So I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow, which is gonna be weird, but I'm gonna feel happy to have the distraction. I don't think I'm gonna recognize the news station when I get back. So yeah.
Oh, did they move stations while you were gone?
Oh no! I mean, I've heard some stories about, like, the sports studio has been completely, like, redone into a temporary, like, editing and writing area that can only be accessed from outside for journalists who have to, like, travel on location so that they can't go to the rest of the studio. Apparently my control room is tarped off, and there's only one way in and out, and you have to be part of Master Control to actually make it in. Like, they're taking it very seriously to keep us safe. But it's gonna be weird because I'm gonna walk in and just be like, what do I do?
At least you can go to work. I'm not even, like, I'm at home just on call, and they're not gonna call me.
If you go to the place where you previously used to work, you just sit at a desk and cry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, I don't think it's a good it's less of a good thing that Derek's going. I mean, he has to.
Yeah.
It's
important work.
It's important work.
Yeah.
But, like,
I mean, free public news is an essential service.
Yes.
Which nice thing is, if we go to shelter in place here in Kentucky, I have a news badge that I can get. You know, be like, look, I gotta. And,
you gotta.
I gotta.
How many places will that news badge get you into? Is it like Lloyd Christmas?
I don't think it gets him anywhere.
It doesn't get me anywhere.
Keeps the police from arresting him.
It gets me. Here, I'll tell you what it has done for me. It has gotten me past roadblocks before, where they have streets blocked off and I can't get into work. Like, I can basically just be like, I have to get past you. I'm that way. And they're like, fuck, yeah, we gotta move the stanchions and let them through, rather than having to, like, drive a complicated way around. I also have not gotten a parking ticket, ever. For as long as I've had the news station thing hanging on my mirror.
I've just got,
it could just be that you're, like, you know, a person who parks correctly.
I mean, like, parking in private lots and, like,
I mean, I haven't gotten a parking ticket, like, ever.
That's
and
true.
I don't have a games-industry.biz badge slapped on my car, and I don't think it would do anything if I did.
Reb, if you had, like, a games journalist coming through badge, that would be the... Yeah.
It's not like a W.
I need to get past this roadblock. I'm a games journalist.
Yeah.
Now I've got this. I'm late to an appointment. Okay, yeah. It's Half-Life 3. I've got 30 minutes to get there. Like the people need to know. Now I've got this mental picture of Reb, like, running through an airplane terminal and like doing, like, the whole Dumb and Dumber thing. Like, it's okay, I'm a games journalist. Like, it's
better. It's okay. I can get through. I'm a gamer.
It's more likely that would get me, like, I don't know, kicked out of places.
Reb, speaking to being in places, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I mean, we're talking about it now. It's, like, fair game. Kansas City's under a shelter-in-place order now, just as a city, and I think like the four counties that kind of, like, surround and make up Kansas City and its sort of suburbs. So we've been that way since Tuesday. It went into effect at midnight on Tuesday. We're here for 30 days. And I do still have my job. I'm extremely lucky and fortunate that I do still have a job, and I have a job that I can work. I do work from home, like, anyway, so it's fine. So my life, like, just on a day-to-day basis hasn't really changed that much. I am technically on vacation this week, which is sort of funny. I opted to keep my vacation because I do need to take my time. So I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, which we'll talk about, but that's honestly, I am playing the amount of Animal Crossing that, like, in an ideal world I would be playing. So it's kind of nice. And then, like, I'm doing other things too. I'm finding ways to fill my time. I'm kind of a homebody anyway, which is, it's weird because I don't think of myself as one. Like, I love going out and having adventures. I love, like, seeing new places and trying new things. But the reality is I tend to get, caught up in my work and tied to my work, and I tend to stay home a lot. So, I'm spending my time doing other things. I deep cleaned the kitchen. I cleaned a whole bunch of the apartment. I brushed the cats. I am growing some herbs on the back porch. I have cooked a bunch of cookbook recipes.
You're living Animal Crossing.
I've started doing Duolingo again. I'm working on that Spanish. Like... I'm reading a book. Like, I'm doing, all these kind of, like, relaxing things. And honestly, it's been good for me so far. Granted, I do not want these circumstances to be happening at all. Yeah. It is awful and bad.
I had that conversation with somebody today.
I would trade it all away to, go back, to go live in a world where we all have good social systems that take care of us and no disease. But we don't live in that world, so I'm making the best of it. I am safe. The people around me are safe. And we're just, we're soldiering on and playing some video games.
Speaking of video games, I know Justin's been ripping and tearing.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Doom.
You've been playing a lot of Doom. And it's been helping you. You've talked a lot about how it's helped you.
We'll talk about that a little later when we get to it. There is something else I have done this week that I would like to talk about a little bit before we get into game talk, and I watched Tiger King on Netflix.
Can you explain to me what this is? Because I just saw it, like, pop up at the end of whatever I was watching the other night. What? It's... Okay, within the first 20 minutes of the first episode of 7, it was one of the wildest things I had ever seen. So it is a documentary about this guy named Joe Exotic. He is... Is that his real name? No.
That's no way it's his birth name. He changed that shit legally, though. I believe that.
Okay.
He is a gay gun-toting hillbilly with a mullet, as he says, who runs a, like, roadside zoo filled with tigers. He has a couple hundred tigers.
What?
That sounds very illegal.
Oh, we're not even into the illegal parts of this yet.
I love Justin's noise he makes when it's like, you don't even know.
Okay, wait. He's not gonna, like...
He's in... Okay, this is within the first 5 minutes, they tell you this.
Then he marries the tiger.
He is currently in prison for soliciting somebody to murder someone.
That's what he's in prison
Why does he need a person for that? He owns tigers.
Oh, it's... Okay, this is a 7-episode limited documentary series. I see people ask questions.
About this.
Why is it phrased that way? Why is it phrased as soliciting somebody to murder someone else? That sounds like...
It's murder for hire. He paid somebody to murder. He hired a hitman.
That sounds like you're gently knocking on doors, like selling watches, right? Like hiring a hitman sounds like what it actually is. Anyway, continue,
this show has a ton of people from different aspects of, the exotic animal industry.
Yeah, because it's such a recognizable industry.
Seriously, every single person on this show is one of the biggest pieces of shit you will ever encounter.
What?
Like, even the animal rights people are horrible. Like, it's... I watched
are they all registered Republicans?
I watched 7 episodes of this show in a day because every single episode is just batshit insane. There are cults. There are murders. There are lots of other illegal things going on. It's one of the most indescribable things I've ever seen. It's wild.
I don't know that I can handle just watching a documentary about people being garbage. People are already garbage.
I mean, I feel like once you own a
tiger... It feels like a really trashy Like, it feels like a trashy soap opera / reality show.
Oh yeah, I know what the fuck I'm doing as soon as this podcast is over.
Like,
playing more Bravely Default. Yeah, I know you, John.
Anyway, I don't want to give too much away about what happens over the course of this show, because it's a ride. But I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like,
Boilermaker.
a few minutes into the first episode, I couldn't believe it, and I blew through this whole series in a day. Just be forewarned, there is some animal abuse stuff in it. Thankfully, it is not too explicit in the show, except for like the tiger feeding aspects of it. But
that's the part I'm now most worried about.
It's not people.
Well, no, because he hires murderers.
Fine.
If he fed them people, he wouldn't need to hire murderers. He's really inefficient at this whole fucking system.
Yes. But like I jokingly mentioned this to my mom, and my mom watched an episode of it. She's like, "What are you watching?" No, the show's bonkers. Joe Exotic is a fascinating person, and I cannot believe that this is a documentary.
Look, 2 nights ago, I watched the sequel to To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which is like To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, and that was nice. And I don't think I'll be going back to Netflix to watch Tiger King.
I would have thought it was about a wrestler. I don't know why I
Yeah,
had
me
that
too.
thought in my
like,
head.
or like
better.
the guy from Tekken.
Wrestlers are cool, mostly.
Yeah.
Watching a documentary about a wrestler named Tiger King sounds great.
Yeah.
Give me that, please.
He does charity for the local children, right? That's the version of this that I have in my head. Not man who owns a shitload of tigers and is also too stupid to use them for murder. I'm really hung up on that part. Why would... doesn't matter.
Seriously,
Doesn't matter.
I was losing my connection with reality watching
This is
show.
the most extra thing. This is the most extra thing I have heard all week, and I watched Kill Bill Volume 1 last night.
Wow!
Kill Bill Volume
Reb,
1
is that the
rules.
first time you've seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
I didn't like it. It was too extra.
Volume 2 is very good and a bit more subdued.
The
Volume
best scene was
is-
where they were drinking coffee because nothing extra was happening, except even the coffee drinking was somehow extra. I don't know. It needed less extra, but more swords.
I thought Volume 2
Tiger
was
King
not as
is
good as the
very
first one.
extra. Tiger King is very, very extra. Okay, that's enough about Tiger King. If any of you watch it, please let me know, because
Hard no.
I'm gonna try it just to see. Now, you
Hard
piqued
no.
my curiosity.
All right, and with that, does anyone else have anything more to say about how they've been doing before we move on to the video games?
Can we ask John how he's doing?
Yes,
I wanna
John.
know.
John, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
You got a smile on your face. Both of them.
Yeah, well...
He's still playing Bravely Default on his Switch Lite off screen. That's why.
No, I'm just happy to be with, I'm just happy to be
I'm teasing.
with all of you. I've missed you all. It's been a long week without you. And I also miss my son. Tomorrow will be the first time I've seen him in 2 months. Just due to
You get to
various
see him tomorrow.
circumstances.
I'm glad
I
you
know.
get to see him tomorrow.
I'm glad.
I'm
Great.
very
Yes.
I'm very excited, and he's very excited. Because
good
my
kid.
my son is my son is my best friend.
Good kid.
And he's a good kid. He's a good kid, and I'll tell a story here real quick about him, and then we'll get into the game stuff, because I don't think I've told the story on the podcast. But a few weeks ago, he was playing Fortnite, and his game's related. So he was playing Fortnite.
If you're gonna tell us the pro gamer move story you've told
no,
8
no,
times.
no,
Okay.
no. This is wholesome as fuck. So
I think I know which one this is.
He was playing Fortnite on the couch on his Switch, and I was just in the kitchen. Vicky was out, and she was just out doing whatever, and I was cleaning the kitchen up. And he drops an F-bomb, right? Like, so he's 11 years old. He's gonna be 12 in April. And he goes, fuck. And I just looked over, and it was, what the? And he looks at me, and he goes, oh. He was like, Daddy, I'm sorry. I was like, but here's the deal. I was like, you're getting older. Okay, I understand. I understand you probably said those words with your friends. It's totally cool. You know, like, I'm not going to police your language around your friends. I was like, if it's just you and me, you can say a swear word. That's fine. You know, I was like, because I'm not going to get mad at you, because we're just, dad, just dad and Jaden hanging out. If it's around anybody else, especially your mother or your stepmother or anybody else, no, don't do it. And he goes, well, Dad, he says, I've heard a lot of swear words. can I say a few just to get them off of my chest? And I was like, which ones do you know? Which ones do you know? And so he repeats the F word. He goes, fuck. And I was like, right, yeah, you just said that. That's a good one. What's another one? You got any more? And he goes, shit. And I was like, right. I was like, that's good. That's real good. I was like, that's real good. What else do you got? And he goes, shit balls. And I was like, that's a really good one. I was like, that's a great one. And I was like, I was like, okay, give me one more. Do you know one more swear word? Go and get it off your chest. And he goes, well, he says, I know one. It's the B word, but I don't like saying that word, so I'm not going to say it. And I was like, buddy.
Proud of you.
Good kid. Good kid.
I was like, God damn.
And then I was another swear word in that moment.
I was like, you know what? Because you're so good and wholesome, you can give me one more. And he goes, it's not really a swear word, but he goes, from Monday cheese. And I was like, okay. So I was like, we're done now. And you must never repeat that even in front of me. Because that's just gross. And I was like, it's not a swear word, but it's just gross. But this kid would not say the B word, and he's just a wholesome fucking kid. And I can't wait to see him tomorrow. I'm gonna show him Animal Crossing, and Vicky and I have been playing Animal Crossing. We've been playing a ton of it, and maybe that's a great segue into Animal Crossing.
Well,
do we want to talk about Doom or Animal Crossing first?
I'm not in charge of this.
I was gonna see if we could talk about if anyone's played any stuff that's not Doom or Animal Crossing to kind of get that out of our chests. So
I have.
Yeah, John, hit us with what you've been playing that isn't Doom or Animal Crossing.
So this is gonna be really quick, I promise, because I know it just took up a lot of time. So today I played Panzer Dragoon, the remake on Switch. It was a shadow drop today. I'm a Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon's Way are two of my favorite games. So is Orda and Saga. I love the Panzer Dragoon series. It's good. Panzer Dragoon is a very short game. It's like 2 hours long. So you can play through it in one sitting. It's a little pricey for what you're getting. It's $24.99 for a 2 or 3 hour game, like at best. So be warned, it is a little pricey. However, it's a classic. Having said that, it's good. There are some issues with the remake, and I just, the reticule is not the best. There were some artistic liberties taken with especially like the first level. Justin, I know that you played Panzer Dragoon.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Well, but like, you remember how the first level, it's just like a big vast ocean with a few crumbling ruins.
Yeah.
In this, it's like you're surrounded by mountains on all sides, and you're traveling, and so it's a little weird, and it's easy to lose enemies with all the extra scenery. And the reticule is over your dragon, which really fucks with me. Like, it really fucks with me.
I feel like they did that for Orda too, with the reticule passing over the dragon.
I don't remember that in Orda. I'd have to go back and look at a video of it. I will say that I'm surprised it's not a 3D reticule. It's just weird. Having said that, if you like Panzer Dragoon, you're gonna like this because it's Panzer Dragoon. And I thought it was great. And I've also been playing the Bravely Default 2 demo. I will not say much about it because I know Reb wants to go in fresh. All I will say is that it is absolutely delightful and beautiful and exactly what I need. And I've played it 3 times today, and I cannot fucking wait to play it. And I'm also playing Mother 3 and Breath of Fire 3. Boom.
I will chime in on the Bravely Default thing, having not played it, having only watched the direct today. I think it is incredibly interesting that unsurprising, like it makes sense, it tracks, but they seem to be going a Final Fantasy route with Bravely Default.
They really do.
We had Bravely Default, and then we had Bravely Second, which was not the sequel, but it was the sequel within that universe. And now Bravely Default 2 is same concept, same like basic spells, same jobs, maybe some different ones, but like
not
same
only
basic
that,
jobs,
Reb,
but new story.
But I will not tell you what it is, but within the first 10 seconds of booting it up and you watch the opening cutscene when you hit New Game, you will go, holy shit, it's Final Fantasy.
I mean, I don't like Final Fantasy.
But like,
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well,
yeah,
no,
but
I mean,
you
like
can
from
be
a
a
thematic
vampire
standpoint.
in Bravely, so that's
can.
something.
From a thematic standpoint, you're gonna go, oh, okay, cool, all right. They're taking
I love the music. Holy
they're taking
fuck.
Reb the remixed victory theme and the battle theme. Oh my god, it's so fucking good! I can't wait for this fucking game.
Okay, sorry, I don't dislike Final Fantasy. I've only beaten Final Fantasy VI, and I've bounced off all the other ones that I've played. Anyway, that's besides the point. John, will you just tell me straight, did you or did you not encounter any fairies during the demo?
I did not.
Okay.
Good.
I did not. I have
am
not finished
so
the demo.
Curious. I am so curious as to what they are going because
I
Bravely
trust
Default and
none
Bravely,
of those little winged bastards.
well, right, but Bravely Default and Bravely Second both involved very meta endgame twists.
Yes.
And I am very curious as to like they can't just make a traditional
They
RPG
can't
that
keep
doesn't
doing
Evil
it.
fairies. Yeah.
They gotta come up with something new, right? Like, so what's the meta bullshit they're gonna throw in the ending? I can talk for hours about Bravely Default and Bravely Second and how great they are, but whatever.
I think I have a suspicion as to what it's going to be, and I think you will too after you watch the opening cinematic. But I will leave you. I will leave that to discover it yourself.
We'll talk.
But we absolutely. Reb, I need you to, as soon as you're done with the demo, I need you to tell me how you feel about it. It's so beautiful. Oh my god, it breaks my fucking heart.
Bravely Default is like where you like that meme of like the two fists like arm grasping or whatever. This is like your love of like traditional RPGs and my like wishy-washiness about RPGs coming together
Like,
on Bravely
right
Default.
here.
So
Like,
good.
yeah.
I love
Well, and
it.
like the great thing about the series is that it's so customizable, and you can take. You know, I gotta shut the fuck up.
we gotta
or I'm gonna-
stop. We gotta
yeah,
stop. We gotta keep going.
I could talk about Bravely Default for this entire time, but anyway, yeah, that's what I've played. Doom, Animal Crossing, Bravely Default, Panzer Dragoon, Mother 3, and Breath of Fire 3. I'm doing some replays of two of my favorite RPGs in there too. So
Nice.
that's what I'm doing.
Let me knock mine out real quick because mine are super fast. I am playing Animal Crossing. That's what I'm playing. We're going to get there. I played a little more Divinity Original Sin 2 today with Imran. I've talked about that on previous episodes. I still feel the same way about it. Kill the magic Nazis. We're doing great. Weird Blood Island. Good times. I'm still playing World of Warcraft, which I'm not going to dig into because I know like most of the people who listen don't care, but I will say I'm incredibly proud of our raid team right now. We've cleared all of normal, and we are currently there are I think 13 total bosses, and we are now getting through 12 of them on heroic mode every single week. And here in a couple weeks, we will probably start progression on the final heroic boss. And that's our goal. Every new expansion is to kill all the bosses on heroic and get the ahead of the curve achievement. And we'll do that a couple times, and then we take a break. And that's why I like it, because it's a chill guild. So I always feel really good when we start nearing kind of that finish line, because I love this group of people, and we have a good time. We do good work, and we're going to accomplish our goals very soon. So I feel really good about that. And then I have played Fortnite, which I have nothing to say about except Fortnite is so good, guys. Jesus Christ.
I'm still so
fun.
surprised that game clicked with you the way it
I
did.
love Fortnite. It's the social aspect. I love playing with friends. I just love just running around shooting the shit and wearing stupid costumes and getting up to shenanigans. It's great. And those are the video games I'm playing.
Who wants to go next? Derek or Justin? One of the two.
Bustin', why don't you go?
Big Bustin'.
I've mostly been playing Doom. However, I have been also playing some Call of Duty Warzone in there. I'm still enjoying that quite a bit. And I just today started the new DLC for Control, which people that listen to the show know how much I love Control. I'm not very far into the new DLC, but it seems cool. The new area is really neat. I'm interested to see where it goes, because it seems like it's tapping into a lot more, the lore and kind of mystery of the world, and stuff, more so than, kind of the main story of the game. So I'm looking forward to getting farther in that. So that's it. That's it. I'm not really.
I didn't know if you
literally
stopped
what
or if
you've
you
been
got cut
playing.
off, so sorry.
No, I thought it cut off for a minute.
Yeah, your
and then I'm
webcam
like,
was swirling, so I wasn't.
I'm like,
I was
Oh, I'm
reading
sorry.
it.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
like,
It's not your
that's
fault.
what he's been playing. I was like, he's been playing Doom and nothing else.
That's how I feel about Animal Crossing for the most part. Everything
Yeah.
else is like really secondary right now.
So, I've had nothing but time, for obvious reasons. So, yes, I played through and destroyed Doom Eternal and loved it deeply, and it made me want to go back and replay, and I beat Doom 1 and Doom 2, and I'm playing Doom 64 right now. which the re-released version that just came out is very, very good. I also decided to start playing Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth because I've had that.
Ooh.
I've had that sitting on I bought it a while ago and it was on like a really deep discount on Steam. And I was like in the mood for like a JRPG that I'd be willing to drop if I didn't really dig it. So I downloaded that and gave it a shot, and it's really good, y'all. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is like it's really good. And it's kind of rekindling my quiet love of Digimon from being a 90s child.
Man. Digimon!
I'm just saying,
like an hour, Derek.
I tweeted on the tweeters that, you know, Pokemon may be regarded as the better franchise, but Pokemon never had a movie so goddamn good the director had to remake it without the license just because he needed to keep chasing that high. Because the movie Summer Wars is just the first Digimon movie, but without...
Wait, really?
Have you seen either?
I absolutely
Summer
saw
Wars.
the original one.
I
have not seen Summer Wars.
It's the same director, Mamoru Hosoda, who is a very, very good director and has made several really good, really heartwarming. Reb, you need to watch Wolf Children, which made me flat out fucking bawl multiple times.
I know what Wolf Children is. I actually do want to watch that.
Yes.
I don't know how I would get access to watching that though.
You can. It's on like a bunch of different services and dubbed into English, and you can. It's everywhere. But yes, the movie Summer Wars is the same director, and it's straight up the first Digimon movie, but like without Digimon and expanded into like with off-brand Digimon and expanded. It's very good. It's very worth watching. Anyway, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth playing on PC. It's very good. It's very fun. Mechanically, it's a very good and approachable JRPG with some good Pokemon-like elements that is a little less frustrating than Pokemon in a lot of ways. You don't catch monsters, you just run into them enough times that you build up a little meter for each time you run into them, and once it hits 100%, you can just spawn one. So it's more about encountering them repeatedly than like trying to play the odds on catching them. And each one can evolve it into like 6 different routes.
That's digivolving, Derek.
Digivolving, yes. After which each one can then digivolve into like another 6 different routes. So you get a little more choice in how that plays out.
That was something that always threw me about the trading card game and the video games and literally every other bit of Digimon lore that was not the show.
Because in the show, it's straightforward. But...
Agumon evolves into Greymon, right? Like that's correct. I forget their names.
And then a Metal Greymon and
like
then a War Greymon.
Yeah, he always digivolves the same way.
And then he bounces back. Like
and so then I see and then I guess they changed a little bit, right, in season 2 because they got the Digi eggs, but it was very clear that it was involved with the Digi eggs.
It's like a weird sideways thing, and then that's and then you can just evolve regularly, and then you can fucking fuse, and then some shit. Look, I don't know.
Never mind. I don't know why I ever thought it was simple.
It's Digimon made sense for the first couple of seasons of the show that I actually remember, and then I've looked up because I'm trying to figure out what some of these things are that I'm seeing, and I'm falling down the rabbit hole on the Wikipedia, and I'm seeing like fucking Shoutmon X57 Omni Mega Mode, and it's like this guy combines with these 37 other Digimon, and I'm like, no, fuck you, I can't. I don't have time for this.
By the way, you mentioned the Digimon movie, and I just wanted to remind everybody how much the soundtrack to that movie
slapped. Holy shit. Yes. Also, like, for real, if you watch the first Digimon movie, like the finale of the Our War Games section where they're fighting the one that's on the internet and they have to fucking fuse and
oh god,
because it's actually 3 short films crammed together is the movie that we got, but the second short film is straight up life changing. It's so goddamn good.
It's really good.
Which makes sense because directed by Mamoru Hosoda, who went on to direct on his own a bunch of just phenomenal, heartwarming, incredibly emotional, and incredibly aware films. Reb, I'm going to send you that guy's name. You would
I'd
love
like to.
every movie in his collection.
I don't generally just like movies. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm not like a movie person. But the Digimon movie is one of like 10 movies that I actually own. It is so fucking good. I love that movie so much. Also, Just throwing this out here, like 10-year-old me was definitely in love with Ken in Adventure 2.
Gotta go with the bad boy.
He was so tortured, but then he got his redemption arc.
Gotta get the bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost John.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay, we Digimoned him out.
Yeah, sorry, John. Sorry,
He's
John.
getting the Waluigi hat.
I love all the weird tangents we're going on today.
It's okay. You know what? Great. Now more than ever, we need these tangents. John, by the way, I'd tell you this is a great time to get involved in Digimon, which the first several seasons at least are surprisingly thoughtful and aware for a children's show.
Hey, Digimon. Hey,
but you know, the problem is they're not on any streaming service, so you can't do that.
That seems wrong that they're not on any.
Yeah, no, they can't. They used to be on Crunchy. I knew it. The Waluigi cat.
Hold on. Did you put a mustache over your facial hair?
He put a mustache over his mustache.
Hey, John. Do you consider our bet settled because you put on a hat?
Not at all. No, not at all.
Because I specifically asked for a full costume.
No, not at all. The bet is not settled. I just wanted to remind everybody that I'm Walu Beefy.
John, I fucking love you. That's all I got to say.
What was that, Derek?
I said, John, I fucking love you. That's all I got to say.
I just wanted to hear you acknowledge it publicly. That's all. Please continue.
I don't have anything
more.
After our long Digimon tangent, it probably does.
His mustache stinks, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wear it because you know what? Fuck it, it's on, and I'm afraid if I take it off, it's gonna hurt.
This is gonna be great for the people that are listening to the episode.
It's fine. No, see, but this is why you should watch us live.
John, a man who is. He's a man. He's a middle-aged man with resting bitch face, a beard, and he's bald. Is wearing a Waluigi hat and a mustache taped on over his existing facial hair.
It's either that or felt. Tissue paper.
Oh, it's felt. Oh, that is got to be rank.
Take it off.
It doesn't smell good.
John, you have a mustache. You can take that off.
But I'm afraid if I take it off now, it's really gonna hurt. This was a bad decision.
Yeah. Well, isn't that just the story of all of our lives?
Okay, fine. Jesus. I'll take it off.
Just rip it. Just take it.
Oh God.
Right up to the mic. Let us hear the skin come off.
I'm scared, Derek.
John, you gotta do this right on the mic and give us that ASMR energy.
ASMR, yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Get up on that mic.
Oh God, it's really on there too.
Get up on that
Jesus
mic.
Christ. All right. Is that better?
Closer.
John is
right up on it.
A mustache off of his face.
And rip it.
All right, here I go. God, I'm so nervous.
Well, John just rip and teared for the episode.
No, we said rip and care. Rip and care.
Yeah, Lena makes a good point. She has to use an epilator weekly on her face. Nothing that you're not allowed to bitch about.
I get my eyebrows waxed on like a regular basis.
Yeah, but I don't.
I laugh at John's pain.
It's really funny.
Talk about Doom or something.
No, Animal Crossing.
The people listening, John has turned completely red.
Yeah. He's touching his face, which I don't think is advised right now. But...
I sanitized before I did it, but I'm in pain.
I've been home. I've showered and washed
same.
my hands. Like, don't do it in public when you've been touching shit. Just wash your hands when you get home.
I'm just making.
We need to do an SDGC best practices video, but that's separate.
In which none of us follow said best practices.
Yes.
Because we're all touching our faces all the time.
My whole upper lip is on fire.
You're gonna make it.
All right, let's talk about some video games.
Let's talk about
some Animal
Crossing.
Something
Wholesome.
Right. So Animal Crossing. I was thinking about this before we started this podcast, and I think it's really hard to talk about Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is fucking everywhere right now. Even if you're not playing it, you fucking know what's going on in Animal Crossing. I think here are the things that have stood out to me right now. Aside from the fact, what we all know is that Animal Crossing is one of two video games that we just really fucking needed right now. I have seen a lot of people get into Animal Crossing for the first time with New Horizons, and I think there's been this sort of perception around Animal Crossing where a lot of people have kind of like, if you try to describe Animal Crossing to people, like here's a laundry list of things that you do in this video game, it doesn't sound very good, right? Like it just sounds like, okay, you can like fish, you can catch bugs, you can do chores. Like, great, who the fuck cares? And, you know, you've been on the internet, like, we all understand now what is good about that. But I think there's definitely something, like, specifically magical about playing it. And so I've seen a lot of people who kind of had reservations about this, who had never played an Animal Crossing before, who thought it just sounded boring. But, you know, they maybe liked Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley or a similar kind of task list game. And so they thought, okay, well, I'll give it a try because everyone's talking it up. And they have absolutely fallen in love. So that's one thing that I've noticed. Another thing that I am very in love with is there are so many small details in this game that are put there solely for the sake of being there. I have posted so many screenshots and videos over the last couple days of villagers just doing little tiny things. They all have these little, like, I remember when everyone freaked out because they saw something from like a Nintendo Direct or something where like one of the characters was sitting on the grass and eating a popsicle, and we all lost our shit because she's sitting eating a popsicle. And that kind of thing is all over this game. I have 5 villagers in my town now, and every day I come out and some of them one of them always has a magnifying glass out for some reason and is always like examining everything. I don't know what he's doing. It's really funny. Another one
solving mysteries.
I've caught 2 of them doing yoga in the town square, and like a full spectrum of yoga poses, like 5 or 6 different poses, plus just standing there with their arms out, like deep breathing. I caught one of them smelling flowers. One of them brings a broom and sweeps the grass all the time for some reason. I don't know, but they all have, sometimes they go to crafting benches and they'll build things and they'll just sit there hitting it with their hammer, and you can go up to them and you can do reactions. You can do like these little emotions and they'll emote back at you, or you can play your ocarina and they'll sing along. There's all these tiny little bits of things, and the thing that blows my mind about them is there is no reward for doing any of these things or seeing any of these things. It is the sheer enjoyment of watching these little perfect peaceful townies just doing these little things. Like I just took a little video of Mary smelling flowers earlier. I don't get a reward from that. I don't get an item. If I talk to her, she doesn't say anything in particular. I just watch her smell a flower, and it just, my heart just like bursts because it's so sweet and I love it. And there are so many little details like that scattered throughout the game. And then the third thing that I wanted to say about this is everyone's talking about how this is the game we all need right now. Yes, it is, absolutely. The social features are the thing that I think like everybody needs right now, because Animal Crossing, video games are great because you can do things in video games that you cannot do in real life. You can shoot demons, you can go to space, you can be like a pirate, you can do all these things, you can stand next to somebody and have a conversation and give them gifts and share fruit and plant flowers with them. And I mean, yeah, like aside, the point I was going for was like the quarantine thing, but you're right, like you can pay off a house, you can own your house, you can own land. You can have a steady income. You can plant things and watch them grow. You have goals. You can accomplish them by doing the things, and there isn't like some fucking mysterious, you know, capitalist force that swoops in and destroys all of your hard work, right? Like you can build things, and right now it's so important. Like I have had so many nights where I've opened my town gates and had people come over, and we all just, there isn't any point to it. Like there's a few things you can do together, like you can go shopping, you can exchange patterns and do other things like that. But the main thing is we're all just standing around and sitting on furniture and talking over voice chat or text chat and just like existing in proximity to one another and hitting each other with bug nets because it's stupid. Like that's literally it. It's the stupid bullshit that we would get up to if we were in the same room together just having a conversation. We would all have like a drink and sit around and bullshit.
And
that's
hit
like,
each other with nets.
And hit each other with nets, right?
Nets.
Like that's like what we would do. That's that kind of attitude. And it's incredible to see how many people, like literally every night, people just getting together in towns and hanging out with each other. I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope it lasts a long time. I mean, I don't hope COVID, again, I'm not a coronavirus advocate.
The monkey's paw curls again.
But I hope that even beyond this situation, that whole mentality like stays, that people still spend time with one another, because it's just wonderful. And I am so excited to see how they progress this game in the coming months and even years, because they seem committed to doing regular events and regular content updates and keeping it fresh. And there are a lot of things. Where's Froggy Chair? We don't know, but they're not going to keep Froggy Chair out of the game forever. Froggy Chair will be here. So yeah, of course I love this game. It's like, Animal Crossing New Leaf is one of my favorite games of all time. Animal Crossing New Horizons is probably going to replace New Leaf as one of my favorite games of all time. It makes me happy literally every time I have it on, constantly, without exception, without reservation. It is absolutely perfect. I love it. That's what I got to say about it.
So Reb, I will tell you this, and it will make you happy. Two things. One, my wife is working from home, and at her computer is her Switch. So whenever she doesn't have something to do, she just wakes her Switch up and starts playing Animal. She is so into it that I've never seen her get into a game like this before. And we had a date night in Animal Crossing because we couldn't, you can't go out anywhere. So we had a date night, and we sat on my little rocking swing, and it was a good time. And we were just sitting there, being with each other in the same room and playing it. And the other thing is, like we've had 2 SDGC community game nights now revolving around Animal Crossing, and not only have they had the biggest turnout we've had for a community game night, like we had 23 people in the voice channel at one point. But
I came back to fruit all over the ground and a bunch of Kirby drawings on my back.
Yeah, like everybody's laughing and
you don't have a lighthouse, do you, Reb?
Yeah, Reb, you don't have. Yeah, no,
do you have a lighthouse?
No, that's not me.
Okay, good, because they would have fucked that lighthouse.
Don's lighthouse got pumped by about.
I don't even have the game. I was just in the voice chat while I was playing some Fire Emblem.
16 different little Animal Crossing avatars.
I heard some shit.
I have a Miyazaki-ass raccoon statue shrine, like a
So
Tanuki.
that shrine, the minute I walked onto Reb's Island for the first time, the entrance when you leave the dock is lined with these creepy raccoon statues, and I was like, so Reb is a cult leader in Animal Crossing. This is a Midsummer situation.
Well, I freaked out Eric Van Allen when he came by the other night because I was making flower crowns for everyone just because it was fun, and I happened to be wearing a white dress, and so everyone was wearing flower crowns, and I run up to him when he walks in wearing a white dress, and he's like, "Is this Midsummer? Is there a bear?" And I flippantly said, "There aren't any bears in Animal Crossing, Eric. My neighbor's a bear."
Wow, Reb.
You know what
Racist.
I really want? I really want some of that animated wallpaper. I saw a really cool one. It was super there are 2 that I saw on Twitter, and I was like, I need that shit now. One of them was like literally a punch out crowd.
That one's really good.
That was awesome. And there was another one. It's like these. It's very Resident Evil-esque. It's like these green tanks with it's like these tanks with green water in them. It's a very science-based, almost looks like Resident Evil canisters, and there's bubbles floating up from them. And I was like, oh, I fucking need it. And Sahara came to my island today, and I was like, fuck yeah, give me that shit. And she gave me the lamest wallpaper. It was this weird aluminum wallpaper and this garden floor, and I was like, this is not me. So. But I fucking love this game so much. I love it so much.
It's just
oh
good.
My god, it's so fucking good. And talk about a huge sales for this game have been through the roof, which is to be expected right now, right? But I mean, this is going to this year is going to end with Animal Crossing being up there with Mario and Zelda.
It's one of those funny things where under normal circumstances, if something like this happened in a vacuum, I would go to Matt Piscatella and be like, hey, what is your prediction? What did this do? But we are living in a weird world right now, and I can't fathom that man has any kind of
stupid numbers in Japan.
I've seen people saying
it's 1.2 million in the first weekend. What? In Japan?
The Switch. And the Switch had its best week ever because of Animal Crossing in Japan.
Yeah.
I've seen people legitimately estimating 7 million launch week for Animal Crossing. Absolutely insane.
It set a record in Japan, didn't it, Justin?
Yeah. Yes.
For Switch launch or for launches for Switch games. I'll say this, I have 175 people on my friends list. I have never seen so many people online at one time playing one game. Launch night, I had 89 people online. All of them were playing Animal Crossing. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is happening? And it's one of those games where I didn't think it was for me until I played New Leaf, and I ended up dumping 160 hours into New Leaf on 3DS. And so Animal Crossing was one of my most anticipated games of all time. And right now it is like,
it's so good.
Maybe this is circumstantial, Reb. Like maybe this is, because I've said many times, it's not so much sometimes whether you're talking about movies or books or games or television shows. It's not so much the thing as it is the time in your life that it came along.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But right now, Animal Crossing it's not even what everybody needed. It's what I needed. And
same.
it is right now the strong favorite. I'm not sure. It's early to be talking about Game of the Year stuff, but I'm not sure if something is going to surpass this just because of the circumstances of its release.
I definitely felt I've said on this show in the past, like I mean everyone knows that I love Pokemon a lot too, and I said this last year, like when Sword and Shield were coming out, I was tempering my expectations. Everyone was like, "Oh, Pokemon's going to be your game of the year." Well, Pokemon's not going to be my game of the year. I love Pokemon so much, but the thing that I really love is like discovering, these new games that are doing like interesting things with like verbs and like different kinds of activities, and I love wholesome things that surprise me generally. And so usually AAA stuff, even if it's from a franchise that I love with all my heart, isn't going to be my game of the year for that reason. And Pokemon wasn't. Like, it was a good game. I loved Sword and Shield, but it wasn't my game of the year. It wasn't even close last year. But this year, like, genuinely, I said the same thing to myself about Animal Crossing. I thought, this is going to be a good game. I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this the way I love New Leaf. I'm going to play the shit out of it. It's going to be great. And I don't know if it's the circumstances or if it's just a genuinely amazing game or both, but like this game has just like won me over. I can't. I'm on vacation this week. I cannot stop playing it. Like, even I do all my chores in like an hour-ish first thing in the morning. I do like all my little set things that I have to do every day, and then I put the game away and I get up. I like shower. I make breakfast. I do all the things I do in the morning. And I'm on vacation right now. I don't have a lot of other things to do, so I keep looking at it and I keep just like coming back, and I don't even not really have anything to do. I just want to walk around my town and fish and talk to the townies until they're like, "Why have you talked to me so many times today? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, none of us are okay out here, but thank you for asking."
I'll ask you a question, Reb, and this is for everybody in chat too. Please throw your answers in chat. Do you find yourself when you're firing it up categorizing in your mind what you need to do? It's like, okay, so so here's my schedule for today. Mm-hmm. This is what I have to do. I'm gonna pick so many weeds. I need to get a Nook Miles ticket. I'm low on iron. Today, I don't like the way I promised myself I was going to rearrange the furniture in my house because I don't like where my bookshelf is at. I don't like where my toilet is at, and I need to move my sink closer to my toilet because hygiene is important. And I don't have a towel rack, so I need to find a towel rack to put next to my sink because how the fuck am I going to dry my hands if I don't have towels? And I find myself falling down this rabbit hole of shit that I need to do, but it doesn't bother me because I'm like, all of it is for a purpose. Like, it makes me feel whole. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to have a schedule, I guess, because right now I have nothing to do.
I have sort of a similar thing. It's not quite as involved as yours, but I do the exact same. It took a few days for this game to get to this point because there was a lot of like specific stuff that it wanted you to do early on. But now I'm at the point of Animal Crossing that I like to be at, which is every day I do the exact same things. And it's actually helpful in this one because the way the rivers are set up, my town is segmented in very specific ways. And so the town is bigger than it's ever been in an Animal Crossing game. And so that feels a little overwhelming, but because of the way it's segmented, it's easier for me to do. So every morning I get up, and in the main segment of my town where all the houses are and all the flowers are and all the shit is right now, I break all the rocks, I water all the flowers, I hit all the trees for wood, and I dig up any fossils. And I do those things in order, and I have an exact like lap around that little section that I do every single time. And then I move into the second section, and there are a few flowers there, so I do the flowers, I do the rocks, but I don't hit the trees because I don't have time to hit every fucking tree in my town. And I pick the fruit that's over there, and then I climb up the mountain, and I water the flowers, and I dig up the fossils, and I leave everything else. And then I go down and I sell whatever I got. And I assess all the fossils and sell any extras. And then from there, I'm kind of free to decide, okay, what is it that I want to do today? But I do that same routine every single day. I have earned every stamp for watering flowers. There are so many flowers in that town. There are shit tons of them. I go through 3 watering cans a day. I love it.
Like I just I'm
so
this
stupid.
is this no it
stupid.
but it's so not at the same time. Like this is one of those games that I'm going to end up putting 500 hours into, right? Because like I'm already thinking about how cool my island is going to look in the fall when the leaves are brown.
Dude, John, in April we get cherry blossoms?
Really? Oh, so shit! I didn't even. That's what those pink trees were. That's what the pink leaves were in the direct.
Oh, the dogwoods.
We're getting cherry blossoms in April.
Oh, that makes me so fucking happy. Holy shit.
This is what I'm an outsider. I understand so little of why this is exciting. That's the funny thing about Animal Crossing, right? Is like all of this from the outside seems like so mundane, but the sheer amount of joy that it brings to you makes me so fucking happy.
God, Derek, I want you to try it so bad.
I have never liked Animal Crossing or any other similar Harvest Moon or Rune Factory or Stardew Valley. I've tried Animal Crossing before. Those types of games just are not really my bag, baby.
That's fair.
Baby.
Beat John, cut him off at the pass. And unlike Austin Powers, I did not write a book about how Animal Crossing really is my bag, baby. But
Animal Crossing and me, this really is my bag, baby.
But I think that like as news about Animal Crossing has come out, it's so weird to have this game that is so huge and you know you're absolutely not a part of, but I'm so excited for it anyway. And I look at all of the news that gets put out, like I absolutely paid so much attention to the part of the direct, the mini direct that talked about Animal Crossing, because like I know that people are going to get excited about this, and it just brings me warmth to know that there's a thing out there that makes people that fucking happy.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
a similar place to where I'm
sorry,
at.
Justin,
with,
go ahead. Sorry.
It's like a similar place to where I'm at with like Pokemon these days. Like I'm not too into it, but like so many of my friends are really into it, and like same with Animal Crossing. You know, I'm not too into it these days, but like I love seeing how much my friends enjoy it, and like I like enjoy it vicariously through everybody else, like with the screenshots and stuff that they share. Like I know Animal Crossing probably isn't something I would enjoy too much playing it myself, but like I really like seeing how much fun everybody else is having with it.
It's just pleasant to exist, for however long you can do it every day, to go exist in a world where there are just no problems. Like Animal Crossing does not have problems. I know people joke about Tom Nook being a landlord. He's not actually a landlord. He is a construction company owner and property manager, and he sells you your house, and you pay him for the house, and then you own the house. So he's not a landlord. But there are zero problems in Animal Crossing, and just zero. And you go in there and you exist in this world with no problems, and you can. The thing that has really like saved me this week is I'm on vacation, and normally my job involves looking at Twitter a lot, and so I have not had to look at Twitter, but I can keep posting cute things from Animal Crossing onto Twitter for other people to see and enjoy, and I don't have to look at Twitter to do it. I can just have a nice thing, and it's just no problems.
I will say this. So there is one aspect of the game that irritates me, and I think everybody probably knows what I'm going to mention, and it's the online functionality. And when I say the online like running around in huge groups with people on their islands is great. What's not great is what happens when somebody flies to said island.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Because when somebody, for anybody out there who has not played Animal Crossing New Horizons, when somebody visits your island, or when somebody's traversing an island, let's say I'm going to Reb's Island and there's 5 people on that island and I'm flying over. All of a sudden, nobody in the island can play anymore because they've got to watch me fly in.
We don't even
are
get
you
to watch
serious?
We don't even get to watch you fly in. So here's what happens: the person who's flying in gets. What's actually happening is it is loading the island for that person and connecting them and bringing them to that island. That is what is actually happening. What we are seeing is the person flying there gets a really, honestly, very cute little cutscene where they fly over the island, and you get to see like a bird's eye view of the island you're going to. And you can see kind of where things are positioned, and if any of the people who are currently playing there are in the path of that airplane, you see them looking up and waving at you. And it's genuinely very cute. What everyone else sees, if there are 7 other people on that island, is it was cute the first time. The first time it was cute, and it's a little like, it's like an airport like board or whatever, and it's like, you know, Dodo Airlines flying in. This person is flying in from.
It's like the thing you see on the airline seats. Like okay, you're this close, you know.
Yeah, and it has like the little. It's inching towards your destination, and it was honestly cute like the first couple times, because it's funny to see everybody's goofy little titles that they've come up with and their names of their town. Okay, whatever. The problem is it lasts for. I have not timed it, so this is like a rough ballpark. but it lasts for like a solid 30 to 45 seconds. It can last longer, like depending on if their connection is bad. And everybody has to stop what they're doing and watch this every time.
Every time.
If one person is coming to visit, it's not a big deal. Like, you sit there, you get through it, it's fine. But when at this time that, again, I'm sure Nintendo did not expect, large quantities of people are bored and want to hang out together. You have opened the gates to your island and you put your dodo code in a Discord server and 7 people just file in. You may as well just go fucking make a sandwich. And eat it and then make some coffee and then drink that, because you're not going to be able to do anything on your island for like 10 minutes.
And Rab, don't forget to mention the fact that if you are the one who's trying to fly and somebody has their Nook phone open, you cannot fly. For whatever reason, you cannot fly in. So you've got to ask that person, hey, can you close your Nook phone, please?
I mean, honestly,
you can't have your phone on during takeoff or landing.
No, somebody on the island.
I think that this is them trying to solve a problem, right? Because if you're so again, say hypothetical situation, we got 7 of us on the island, person needs trying to fly in. If half of us have our menus open and we're trying to do something like pick up an item or change our clothes or do something that changes the state of the island, as it's basically trying to freeze the state of the island so they can load it for the person coming in. That's what's happening. And so I get it. And they do deal with it by putting like a little message. It basically gives a little banner message to everyone who's on the island. Hey, please close your windows. We got someone coming in. And if you don't close your window in time, then they just get a message saying, oh, there's interference. Try again in a second. And they can try again immediately. And it basically just keeps going until everybody closes their windows and they can come. I understand why they had to solve the problem that way. It is kind of like a natural issue to occur with a world like Animal Crossing, where you're trying to connect people online and not have things bug out in ways that get you duplicate fruits or other bullshit. Also, it's just really annoying.
Yeah, well, I get why you, the traveler, would have to load in. I don't quite understand why everybody on the island has to stop and wait for it. But at the same time, like, the game is so good that I don't even like it's a minor problem, but it still gets annoying when you've got multiple people entering and leaving your island. So we have talked at length about Animal Crossing, and I could talk about Animal Crossing for another 2 hours, but there's another game, because we are talking about rip and care, and let's talk about the ripping part for a minute. And Rev and I are the 2 big Animal Crossing people here. Justin and Derek are the 2 big Doom people here, so I want them to lead the conversation, and we'll kick it off to Derek or Justin. I will leave it to you two.
Bustin, why don't you go first, man?
All right, so basically this Doom Eternal is how I celebrated my birthday. This March 20th was my birthday, so like right at midnight I jumped in, and I'm having such a blast with it. Like I've finished the game, and like I started the Control DLC, but like I'm still thinking about going back and playing Doom, just because like the combat is so flexible, the levels are so well designed. Like, it's one of those games where every single little thing in it is satisfying and fun. Just moving your character around. The double jump, the air dash, the feedback you get from like every like individual hit. Like this time, like the demons actually like come apart as you hit them, which simultaneously like gives you as a player more feedback, but also kind of makes them scarier, because like they're falling apart literally with like ribs and stuff hanging out as they rush at you. It's just such a blast. Like, and I don't know what kind of wizardry it did on their engine, but like this game looks and runs amazingly. Like I'm playing on PS4. I'm playing on PS4 Pro. Like it is a consistent 60 FPS, amazing HDR implementation, gorgeous visuals, really fast load times, which is great because the game is hard. Like I think several people have been taken aback by how difficult this game ended up being. There are really points where you have to, really learn how everything works, because everything is built around like the Triumph, like the triangle of health, ammo, and armor, and you have so many ways of extracting that from enemies. Like you have a flamethrower that if you use on a group of enemies, they start dropping armor. You can do a glory kill to get health. You the chainsaw to get ammo. Like
so you get those three abilities to help you refill the resources as you lose them. So
so like there's all these moments where you'll go from I'll be down to 5 health, but I know I can stagger someone, get a glory kill, restore my health, restore my armor, and then come back. Like the little enemies, like the zombies and imps and stuff hanging around, like they're not there to annoy you as much as they are to provide you with resources. So like you're kind of having to do calculations. Like, do I dispatch this demon as fast as I can? Do I use them for resources? It's just so much fun, and there's so many different ways to handle everything. Like they added a lot of platforming in, and that I think is very fun. Like climbing, double jumping, air dashing. Like there's so many jumps that you don't think you can make that you can. Sorry, I'm going on and on. I loved the shit out of this game.
We just talked for like 30 minutes about Animal Crossing.
I want to give Derek a chance to.
Doom Eternal is what I needed in life right now. Because I've gone to look. I'm our fun smiley gay boy. I've gone to I've had to deal with a lot of shit the last couple weeks. A lot of potentially life-threatening shit beyond merely coronavirus over the last couple weeks. And the state of a lot of things has put me in a very bad mood. And it's very cathartic to kind of get that out of you in a way that causes no actual harm. Like it's a good bit of stress relief, I guess, more than anything. Like I'm not a violent person, but I'm a very stressed person.
I don't know. I've seen you get heated, man.
Yeah,
like,
well,
but only when people that you love are being.
I can't fucking murder a virus, though, can I? Like,
so some people are trying.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Given the surge in gun sales,
I can't take a Louisville Slugger to a virus. Like that's not how it works. But yeah, like it's very the pace of combat is good. It's fun. It's super fast paced. It forces you to constantly change between mechanics to keep up with your rapidly draining resources, whether that's health or armor or ammo. You have to swap between them all the time. You have to swap between weapons for what's right for any given situation. I've seen a lot of people complain. And I don't wish to make fun of them. The purpose of it is not to make fun of them, but a lot of people complain that Doom Eternal gets way too complex, way too quick. And I think that's part of what I actually love about Doom Eternal. But I also understand that's what's going to make it not for everyone. It's a game that has a lot of layers and a lot of things to keep track with, but that management is what makes the game for me.
In a way, like it reminds me of like Devil May Cry almost. In an FPS form. No. Like it really is the closest I think to that kind of character action feel. Which makes it feel very unique.
Yeah, I haven't played the easiest difficulties. Like I played through the first time on normal, where it was like kind of I was having to use everything, but I wasn't struggling. I would hope that the easier difficulty is something where you have to focus less on those, because I do hope that the game has some degree of accessibility to it, where like if enemies are less powerful and less aggressive, you don't have to think as quickly and as often about triggering those abilities. But I love that. I love Doom 2016 really played with not giving a shit about the story in games, right? Like it's constantly like character pops up trying to tell you something, Doom guy pushes monitor away because he doesn't want to listen to, disembodied voice tell him objectives. There's a running theme in Doom 2016 of, powerful disembodied voice going, you can't just destroy the Argent Energy modulators, and you just go, break. It's like, you can't do that. Fuck to the second one, break, and then you get to the third one, he's like, okay, you clearly don't understand what it is you're doing, and it's fine, but you don't understand how much damage you're causing, break. Like, Doom guy doesn't care about the story. Doom Eternal,
he doesn't.
Funnily enough, flips the other way and really does get much more into like the world building and the story.
Do you think that's to its detriment?
No, I think it's good.
The lore is really cool.
I think it's good because Doom 2016 clearly set up a lot of this stuff to come.
Yeah.
But it wanted to be what it was, and Doom Eternal wants to be different, and Doom Eternal wants to instead play on creating something very permanent and lasting that plays into kind of the mythic status of the franchise. And it's in that regard, it's very good. And I think that everything about Doom Eternal can be summed up in their last level. If you compare the last level of Doom 2016, famously is like, you know, some good enemy rushes and some good crowd fights, and then you hit the Spider Mastermind, and it's like, it sucks ass. Like, it's a shitty final boss. It's so easy. Doom Eternal has the most incredible final level and final boss, and talk about the most improved Doom enemy boss, whatever translated.
The last level is like old school hard gauntlet with a
good,
crazy boss fight at the end.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. John, you had your hand up. Hit us with
just a comment and a question for both of you.
Yeah.
One, I got to the part where, let's just say,
the Marauder.
I know. There's a big no.
No?
This is a positive thing I'm gonna say.
Okay.
And that's the thing. People are like, John doesn't like the game. I'm like, I love the game. I just don't like the Marauder.
Yeah.
But
you'll get used to how to deal with Marauders.
I finally beat him, by the way, and
I don't like him much as an enemy. I just know how to beat him. But I agree that he's not my favorite. Like,
I got to the part today where there's a big gun involved. And I was laughing my ass off in a good way for like 10 minutes. I was like, this is so
This isn't even a
stupid and
spoiler
ridiculous.
because you can't spoil Doom, really. But like, they literally do you can't just blow a hole in Mars. And then the objective pops up, blow a hole in Mars. Like,
no, and then you
fire yourself as ammo.
into Mars.
You shoot yourself out of a cannon.
Why the fuck not?
It's Doom Eternal is the stupidest fucking game, and I love it.
And I love that he fires himself out of a huge planet-sized BFG cannon, and he crashes through a ship wall, and he just lands on his feet, and he's like, ugh. And I was like, what the fuck am I playing? Great.
It's so overly masculine and overly violent that it crosses out of like the toxic bullshit and goes straight into just fuck yeah.
But I had a question.
It's like
Hold on,
Looney
Justice
Tunes.
has been trying to get a word in.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's almost like Looney Tunes. Like almost. It's just like it's like Itchy and Scratchy from The Simpsons. like
That's a great comparison.
Like they're one of the glory kills is on the Whiplash enemies, which are like the snake-like demons. You grab their arm, break their arm, and then stab them through the head with the bone from their arm. Like, it's so goofy, like, and silly. But I will say I do have one complaint with the game. And that is, I do not think that the humor is nearly as strong as it was in 2016.
No.
I can't stand Mortally Challenged.
I think the physical comedy is funnier, but I think
there's
jokes
still
are bad.
There's still funny stuff, but like the Mortally Challenged joke they use literally 30-something times. And
I've had it. Yeah, enough,
like,
please.
The thing is, the thing about that joke is I get what the intent was. The whole thing is about like the UAC, like co-opting, like.
It's about shit
inclusive
co-opting
language.
social justice language. Yeah.
However, it's not executed well enough that is super clear unless you have the context from 2016. And it's the kind of joke that I think the wrong people could take the wrong way. And just the sheer number of times they use it is so great.
I'm like, oh God.
That's what it is for me.
Stop.
I think that it makes it very clear without context. You see it one time, maybe two times, and you're like, okay, this is...
that didn't land well, but okay.
Well, no, it doesn't even not land well. It's just like, okay, this is like ironic and stupid, and like, it's clearly that this company is using like nice, friendly, like PR-friendly language and terminology and progressive language to refer to fucking demons. But the problem is when you do that 30 fucking times and 30 different jokes, it stops being satire and it starts being that you're
Mockery.
just it's literally the get different material.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then the comedian looking down at the fucking card that just says mortally challenged.
Yeah.
Mortally
sweating.
challenged, yeah.
Like,
And the thing is, like, because for me, like, the 2016's humor was one of the things that really caught me off guard, especially with the UAC recordings.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
I think outside of the UAC recordings, the humor in Eternal is still pretty.
the physical
but it's the
comedy's great.
UAC recordings that are just massively, like, downgraded. Like, one of my favorite ones in 2016 was they say God created the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. But what if he didn't? Introducing the 7-day work week. Like, stuff like that. Like those things all it made me laugh a lot. Like, like that part just felt like a big step down in this one, which is unfortunate. Like, almost everything else I thought was a huge upgrade, but it was just kind of frustrating for me because it did kind of stand out because it was one of my favorite things of the last games.
It's interesting, right, Justin, coming off the heels of like Borderlands 3, which I don't feel nailed the humor at all. And that's selling it short. I fell off of that game because the humor is just so bad. I was like, fuck, I can't handle this. And not that Doom is anywhere near there, but it's interesting that two very big, well anticipated, big tentpole releases both just kind of swung and for the most part whiffed on a lot of this stuff. I do want to ask.
I think the second half of Doom is a lot better.
I'm just now entering the second
People
half.
aren't good at writing comedy
Yeah.
in games.
I
Like,
would-
not
yeah.
to turn it back to Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is a very funny game on accident because they have all these lines of dialogue and then they insert random items, and so you end up with cats giving you, like, the thing that was said in chat earlier was somebody gave one of the cat villagers a litter box and they gave them a toilet in return. That's totally by accident. That was not designed. It's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Writing humor in video games is something that not a lot of big AAA games have figured out.
What's
I
funny-
like catching bugs and fish because I
Yeah.
just want to see what new jokes they have.
What's
Go ahead,
funny
Derek.
is I think that Doom Eternal actually is broadly a very funny game. The problem is that the mortally challenged joke alone is repeated so many times, and it's just not a particularly great, like, even if you only did it once or twice and it fulfilled its purpose, it wouldn't be a good joke. It would be like a filler joke that you forget about.
Yeah.
But like that,
But that's just it,
compared
you'd
to-
forget about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that so many times makes us think the humor's not that good compared to, for example, the glory kill animation where you smack a zombie's head from above and just
love
push
it.
its head between its shoulders.
Oh, and then it
intact.
looks really sad.
The head
It looks
doesn't
really
switch.
sad at you
Reb,
for a
you
second.
have to understand, you don't do anything violent. You hit the zombie so hard its head just goes down in between its shoulders and looks up at you like, and then he falls over sad.
I like how you preface that with "you don't do anything violent."
Well, you don't, because like there's no blood, there's no deformation. It's cartoonish.
Compared to some of the other
Compared
shit
to
you're
the
doing.
others.
Yeah. It's not like you break a bone out of somebody's arm and then stab them with it.
Oh,
You just,
sure, yeah.
You just smack his head so hard it like cartoonishly flattens into his shoulders and goes, and cries at you a little bit.
This is my one take on Doom. Not ever having played a Doom game, not caring a bit about Doom, except, as you all said earlier, because of the joy that it gives other people that I care about. Never going to play a Doom game, knowing nothing about it. I said earlier that, like, Animal Crossing is the game that, this is the game everybody needs right now, right? Doom is also the game we all needed right now, for a very different reason. Animal Crossing presents a world without problems that we can all go escape to. Doom presents a world with lots of fucking problems, but you have power, and we do not have any power right now.
And
everybody feels like super helpless. Like, I get, like, Derek, you can't shoot a disease.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? And,
I tried.
It's this whole, without, like, getting too into it, this whole situation is, I mean, most of us knew that these problems were here before, but it's really showing the cracks in the existing system of our society and how it fails miserably society's most vulnerable people. And a lot of people, myself included, feel deeply powerless right now to do anything to help people. And in Doom, it's a nice escapism because you are, I don't know, the Doom Slayer? The Doom Slayer?
Yeah,
Is that
the
his
Doom
name?
Slayer.
You are this guy with, I presume, lots of guns and, like, a chainsaw and a bunch of other stuff. And you can just go destroy all your problems.
Yeah, literally, the opening of this game is like you're hearing recordings from people on Earth and at the very end you hear somebody's voice go, "Somebody save us!" And then it just zooms in on him looking mad, and he just cocks his shotgun, and then Doom Eternal appears on screen.
All of
We're
Doom.
all mad. We're all so mad right now. And in this game, you could be mad with a gun that could destroy everything that's making you mad.
I love Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are basically just about hey, the Doom guy? He's actually single-handedly the hardest motherfucker in all of existence, and it's just because he's mad at what's going on. That's really it. He's just so mad that he's God now.
If you think about it, if you think about it, on this podcast, I am the world of Doom just causing problems, and Zach and Reb are the Doom guy, just coming in trying to fix those problems, trying to stop those problems.
You're trying.
That's the best I got right now. Okay.
No, it's building on what Reb said, on top of everything else going in the world, I've had a lot of personal issues. I was unemployed before this, and my job prospects are not too great as of this moment. So, this game has been a really, really good break for me, and I'm really enjoying it. Has anybody else tried the multiplayer battle mode?
I have not.
Okay, so it's a really interesting It's a really interesting mode that literally no one is playing. I was trying to get the trophies for doing it, and it keeps failing to find matches and stuff. It's a really cool mode, but it's super hardcore and really difficult to get the hang of. And I think that's going to turn off a lot of people really quick. Basically, one person plays as a maxed out Doom Slayer. The other two players play as two of the heavy demons, and Doomslayer is trying to take out the demons. The two demons have to be dead at the same time. If you kill one and not the other, in 20 seconds the other one respawns. And so you can coordinate abilities between the demons and spawn different other demons to help. It's a really, really neat mode that's just super, super hard to get into. And nobody's playing, which is unfortunate. Because I think I would really enjoy watching people play it.
It was the same. The same problem for 2016 Doom, right? Just nobody played the multiplayer.
I at least was able to find games more consistently in 2016.
Do you really want to play against other people who can be Doom guy? That just seems horrifying to me.
Yeah. So. Well, it's actually, I think it's a lot harder to win as Doom guy.
If you guys don't mind, I would like to bring up the Marauder.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think it's, and I'll say this briefly, and I'll kick it back to you guys. I got so mad at this particular enemy type that I had to put the game down for a day because I was I can't fucking do this. The whole point of Doom is literally to rip and tear. Right, you are empowered with all these weapons, and different weapons work for different. For example, if you see a zombie soldier with an energy shield, you got to pull out your plasma gun. Everything is situational, and there's a definite battle rhythm, like Justin was mentioning earlier, and a few people have said in chat. But with the Marauder, the Marauder enemy is basically the antithesis of Doom, essentially, because it's. The whole point of Doom is getting up in somebody's face and blowing them away with whatever you have on hand, right? That's the whole point of Doom, getting in close. With the Marauder, you have to you can't get too close, or he'll blast with the shotgun. You can't get too far away, or he'll just throw his fucking lightning dog at you. It's literally, Doom is not about finesse, right? Doom it's not about timing. It's about getting there and blasting fucking everything that moves. With the Marauder, you have literally a split second of time to wound him. And if you don't, then he's gonna take half your health away. It's like a freight train of amazing shit ran into a big brick wall of just bullshit.
And you'll get the hang of Marauders. Trust me.
I beat him eventually, but
you'll eventually get the rhythm down, and I actually think that they're pretty fun to fight. And
I will never think they're fun to fight.
Trust me, you'll come up with strategies and you'll get the hang of it.
I just think it was a miss. Like, it was a rare miss. You know, like, all the enemies in this game are awesome, but the Marauder just... And it's not, like, something that forces you to play differently. Because in Doom, you shouldn't be forced to play differently, right? Like, it's an enemy that just, I think, does not belong in this type of game. Like, it does not work well with the type of gameplay that Doom demands of you.
So it's weird, right? Because just about every heavy or super heavy enemy has tactics that are best, right?
Yeah.
And that are preferred, but it's far from the only way to handle that problem. Like, we even talked about, and this is just a fodder enemy, but the soldiers with shields, like, you don't need your plasma gun to take them on. It's just nice because you can get a free explosion out of them when you do that. But there's a bunch of ways around just about every heavy and super heavy. The problem is there are a couple of super heavies that, and the Marauder is the worst of them, that really break that to a degree and require very specific things, or else you simply cannot win. The Doom Hunter is a similar one, where the Doom Hunter is basically invincible unless you specifically use the plasma gun to break the shield, after which point you can do damage.
You actually can use other weapons. It's
Can
just the plasma's
The
most
plasma
effective.
gun, yeah.
Yeah,
I've done it with the rockets.
Yeah,
I've done it with the rockets. Yeah,
I felt like it was taking me so long trying any other weapon that it was worthless to even try anything else.
The triple rocket lock on works very well.
Yeah. The thing is, all of the super heavies basically require you to focus the fight around them, right? If a tyrant or a Baron of Hell shows up, like, you have to focus on them. It's the only thing you can do is focus the fight around them.
If the Baron of Hell shows up, I focus on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, the other one is the
Archvile,
which the thing is, I love fighting the Archvile, but the Archvile very much is like...
hate the Archvile. The Archvile is the one enemy I do not have a strategy for. I just pull out my BFG and hope for the best.
You just have to drop everything.
Reb's like,
sounds
I feel
ridiculous.
you.
I know.
No, this whole thing sounds ridiculous, and I love it.
You have to drop everything if there's an Archvile, and you have to hunt him down, and you have to jump quickly in behind his, because he shields himself from the front as he stands there praising the fucking sun, summoning a billion enemies and popping fire up from beneath you, and you've got to run in behind him real quick and pop him with whatever weapon you have out that's strong. But, like, he's very... Everything else has to stop now, and you have to worry about what I need from you. The Doom Hunter's the same way. The Marauder's the same way. I think what's different about the Marauder is that he seems to be literally invincible outside of a specific tactic, which is
outside of a specific window he is.
Yes, which is hang around at medium range and wait for the right
Not even
moment.
not even the BFG works on him unless you manage to hit it in that little tiny window.
The Marauder basically works like the bosses do, not like any of the other enemies do, where you have to follow and wait for the right tell and cue and then react to that rather than being proactive. He's the only enemy where you're reactive rather than proactive. That's the long and the short of it. Anything else, you can just out-aggressive that enemy, and you can't do that with the Marauder. In fact, in fights where he shows up in mobs, you need to clear every other heavy because you can't deal with being reactive to the Marauder when there's a Mancubus back there blasting you with its big, tunky arm cannons. You know, so yes, the Marauder's a bit of a mess. I like him as a boss. I do not like him
as a recurring enemy,
because, like, the Gladiator's kind of the same way in that boss when you get to him. It's a very reactive boss that you need to wait for it to do a thing and then deal with that. But
that's the one where I know you're talking about.
It is the shield that looks like
the shielded, right.
But the thing is that never shows up as an enemy later, and the Marauder does. So it's like I said, there's an optimal pattern, which is hang around at mid-range, wait for his eyes to flash green when he does an axe attack, and then super shotgun to stagger him, quick switch to the ballista and get a ballista shot off, and then quick switch back to the super shotgun and wait to go again. And if you do that and you don't have any other heavies around, you can clear through him pretty quick. But it is unlike the rest of Doom, and it is, I would think, I don't know that it's as big of a problem as a lot of people say, but I didn't like him, and his absence would not be missed greatly by me.
Yeah, fuck the Marauder. Can't stand that motherfucker. Asshole.
Fuck him.
I want to talk
like,
about one more thing in Doom before we go, unless anyone else has more things to say about Doom.
I know Reb wanted to mention one game, but
we'll do that at the end then, sure.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
No, it's
I forgot
good.
earlier.
Absolutely.
No.
Doom there is this great, very, very frequently talked about and very publicized scene where you show up in like a tower full of people. We want to talk about comedy, and it's Doom Guy showing up.
That
in,
scene is hilarious.
The space tower full of like humanity's last savior space army people, and they're all like, should he be here? Like, and you're just walking through, and everyone's like, no, I'm not telling him he can't go through that door.
Yeah.
And backing up, and you like walk up to one dude at a computer desk who doesn't recognize what's going on because the door ahead is locked, and he has the key card on his neck, and he like turns and sees you walking towards him, and he's and you like
there's that
reach out and grab the lanyard around his neck with the key card and just drag him on his wheelie office chair over to the thing and and let him go. And the whole time he's just sitting there like.
And Doomslayer never stops moving
like
the entire time. He never stops.
Later
walking.
on in that same mission, there's like 2 guard guys that are just
That's
like,
what I was going to mention, Justin.
He doesn't scare me. I wouldn't let him through if he comes in as you walk in, and they just clear the fuck out of here.
And then Doomslayer takes the guy's gun and just keeps walking. Yeah. Reb, what was the game that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, so this is weird because I feel like I should talk about this, but I also feel deeply unqualified to talk about this. So I am fortunate enough, by virtue of Valve themselves, to have a Valve Index headset. And I actually got an early code for Half-Life Alyx back on Monday. Not this last Monday. Wait, what day is today?
Today is Thursday.
I got it a week before it launched. And that was a difficult week for numerous reasons. And so I didn't get to play very much. I only played 45 minutes of Half-Life Alyx and only have played that much so far. I know it's out now. Additionally, I have played exactly 10 minutes of one of the Half-Life games. I don't remember which. I think it was one. The segment that I very specifically remember is this Dr. Freeman fellow blowing something up in a microwave.
Freeman.
That's what I remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I bounced off it real hard.
You forgot to take the tinfoil off the burrito, and it fucked everything up.
I bounced off it real hard due to tutorials not making any sense and due to it being the first game of its kind that I had ever played, and I struggled with it. So that's neither here nor there. I've played Half-Life Alyx. Really quickly about Half-Life Alyx. 1, did not expect it to be a horror game.
Neither
Didn't
did
think
I.
The other Half-Lives were horror games. Half-Life Alyx, definitely a horror game. Had some nightmares. Yikes. Horror in VR. Fine if you love it. Just make sure if you're going into Half-Life Alyx, you're aware that that's what it is. Number 2, I think this is probably a good game. I've only played 45 minutes of it. I've read the reviews. It seems like it is a genuinely good game. I am a bit disappointed because I was sort of going at this expecting Valve to have done, I don't know, to have done something again, right? Like to have done something just real fucking wild, just to like revolutionize. And I will say the gravity gloves feel amazing. There's a section at the very beginning when you first get the gravity gloves, and you go out into like this lot, and you know the one dude, the very deeply British dude, is giving you a tutorial, and he's like explaining how you like reach out your hand like this, you target a thing, you hit the trigger, and then you fling it back, and then you catch it in the air with the grip. And I thought, that is like 4 fucking steps. That is so complicated. I can't do this. I sat in the tutorial area for several minutes trying to do it, and it was really hard. And I was finally like, okay, I have the basics down, whatever the fuck. I'm just going to go on. This is stupid. I only played for 45 minutes. At the end of that 45 minutes, I was throwing ammo in my backpack, just flicking stuff around. That felt genuinely so good. I did not expect that to be as natural as it ended up being, but that is a really genuinely good mechanic. So far, I have only used it for gramming ammo long distance. I am looking forward to later in the game when I presume it becomes more of a thing. The other thing I will say the thing that I'm disappointed about is that memory. This is very early. Like this was way. I mean, games let you do this shit all the time now, right? But the memory of exploding that microwave on that burrito, like that is a really clear memory because I was stuck. I was struggling with this new game that I had never played before, but I was able to walk around this lab and do all these weird, dumb little interactions, just like fuck with stuff. It was very fun. You start out at the very beginning of Half-Life Alyx. You were Alex. You were standing. I know nothing about Half-Life. You were standing on a balcony in city, whatever number it is.
17.
17, thank you. And you're watching these I don't know what I seriously don't know anything about I don't know alien things.
The walkers,
the Striders.
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
The Striders.
I'm watching this messed up city, like clearly from this balcony, and I look, around at the city. It's a very striking sight. It looks very nice in VR. And then I look to my right, and there's a table, and on the table are like 3 packets of rations. They're very funny. I picked them up. One of them is water flavored. Ha, hilarious. And then there's like several cans of beer or soda, presumably. I don't know. And then there's a folder, like an executive kind of folder. It's really shabby looking. And there's a watering can, and there's a plant over in the corner. I see these things, and I've played a lot of VR. Like not a shit ton of VR, but I've played like Boneworks. I've played Vacation Simulator. I've played a lot of games that have these very like intricate interactions. And I have a Valve Index. Like I assumed that even if it's not available in every game, I assume that having the Valve Index would let me do like very intricate interactions with these things. And the first thing I did was I picked up a can of soda, and it looks so obvious. It's not even a typical like can of soda. It's like, it looks like you can stick your finger and just poke it open. That's what it looks like to me. And it even like has a slight indentation. Like normally, like if I see in a video game that the top of a soda can, like it has the shape of a tab, but it's like flat in a VR, I don't think I can open that. I just think it's like, oh, it's meant to look like a can of soda. But this looks like I can open it. So I start trying to poke it, and I reach down to poke it, and it just transfers to my other hand. And I do this a couple times, and I couldn't open anything. I couldn't open the folder. I couldn't open the rations. I couldn't open the can. I grabbed the watering can, and I started looking around for like a hose, trying to find something that I could fill it up with so I could water the plant. But there's nothing. And I spent the first several minutes of the game as I'm wandering out of this, shabby apartment that she's in, picking up everything I saw, opening every drawer, like looking for something to touch, something to interact with. And it was so frustrating to me that none of it was. I could pick things up, right? Like I can pick lots of different things up, and I can throw them, and I can gravity glove them. I can pick large boxes up and move them. These are all things I can do, but nothing has that tactile interaction. And it was so it just took me out of it. Like
I was gonna ask if it took you out of the world.
It really did. Like that, and the ladders. The ladders are the other thing that fucked me up, because in this game, in order to climb up ladders, instead of doing a ladder climbing motion, which I was thoroughly prepared to do, you grab and hold, and then it teleports you up the ladder.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, thumbs down.
I don't like that.
That may have just been. I will acknowledge that may have been because I was using the warp movement. It may have been because of that, but I don't know. It might be different if you just do free movement. But yeah, so that is my 45 minutes of Half-Life Alyx. I am eventually going to play the rest of the game. I've currently lent out my Valve Index to another friend who has a deep love of Half-Life, and due to quarantines, I don't know when I'm going to see it again. But like I was so disappointed by that lack of interaction. Like that was just my first thing. So, but I think Half-Life, people who love Half-Life are gonna love it. Like,
see, that's the thing that bums me out. Like Half-Life was a very formative series for me for a lot of reasons growing up, and like it really bums me out that after so long without a Half-Life game, I can't play the new one.
Yeah.
I can't play the new one because like I don't have a gaming PC. I don't have a PC VR headset. I have a PlayStation VR, but I know that can't run Alyx. So like it bums me out. I can't play it. So like I'm trying to limit how much I hear about it and see about it, because I'm hoping maybe eventually I'll get to play it, and I want to go in fresh.
From what the real disappointing thing is, and Reb, maybe you can answer this because you've actually played it. I've seen multiple people say the way this game works, it would not translate to consoles. Like it just wouldn't.
Oh, Valve has said that.
Valve.
I mean, it wouldn't translate to being a non-VR game. It's
that's what I mean.
I expect that it will happen. I expect that people will mod it so that it can be played on PC, not consoles. I don't think it will be nearly as impactful, because the thing about, again, having only played 45 minutes,
pretty much any VR game wouldn't translate well to.
I think some do, but like the thing about being in VR is that these things are it's meant to be this immersive experience. Like, not to compare it to Animal Crossing, but these things that are very mundane take on a new life based on the situation that you're in. Like in a normal like console or PC game, the idea of the gravity gloves, right? Like all I would do is like aim and then hit a button. basically, to get something to summon to me. That's so boring. That's really boring. Like, that's a normal ass thing that I do in video. I just did a bunch of that shit in Divinity Original Sin 2. Like, it's just a normal everyday thing. But in VR, having a gravity glove and being able to go and like catch an ammo in the air and then shove it in my gun, that's really cool. And that's like so meaningful. And so I think someone will mod it to be a console game if you want to play it, but I think it will lose a lot of its energy and a lot of its, power from that. I don't think it's going to revolutionize VR. I think it is going to move I think it's already moved a lot of headsets. I think, not to bring it up again, but I think COVID is going to put, some brakes on general hardware production just across the board. So that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I was really hoping that this would be more of a milestone than it was. And I think that for the most part, it's going to get by on being the name of Half-Life, because it's not a bad game. I don't think it is. I've talked to people who know Half-Life, and they do genuinely love it. But the things that they seem to love about it very much seem to be what it does for Half-Life and not what it does for VR.
Interesting. That's a really good way of putting it.
But we'll see. I'm gonna play that, and I'll attempt to beat it without nightmares.
What you're saying is there's nothing as cool as VR vaping from Blood and Truth.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, Reb, you haven't been here when I've talked about this? Okay.
No, stop. What did you say?
VR vaping.
Oh, thank fuck! I did not hear V as the code.
Oh, no.
Shit.
No, I'm talking about.
You did not learn something deeply disgusting about Bustin'.
Oh no!
I knew it was sarcastic.
That was absolutely not what I was talking about.
I didn't know if I want to hear this.
Reb,
the vaping. Tell me about the vaping.
Reb, I am talking about a game where one of the collectibles is different flavors of vapes, and you pick up a vape and you put it near your mouth, and it uses the microphone to listen to you suck in air and blow it out to collect the vape.
That's pretty funny.
Hell yeah, that's my kind of game right there.
I should have enunciated better.
No, that's okay. I think your camera did, your webcam or mic or something didn't do you favors there. I apologize.
All right, we're almost 10 minutes over the limit, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Does anybody have any housekeeping items they want to throw out there?
Not off the top of my head.
If you're not, can someone do the little thing to show people where the Discord is? If you're not already a member of the Discord, I would consider joining for many reasons, obviously, but for two really important ones right now. All the talk and just knowledge of the fact that there's just this disease is just going to fuck everything up for everyone for so long. It's difficult. We have a small section in our Discord that it's called Just Nice Things. It's a category. It's got three channels in it. It's got animal photos, food photos, and uplifting words. And those three things are only nice things. No depressing or bad or worrisome or annoying things are allowed to be posted in there. And
that's why I'm banned from that channel.
John, you can mute literally everything else in that server and just hang out in that area if you just need like a place to go and just only read nice things. And so that's really nice. The other thing is we have an Animal Crossing channel now, and we've been having a lot of community game nights. You said the next one's when, John? Saturday?
Tomorrow night. Next community game night for Animal Crossing is tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll be late, but I'll be there.
And then I think we might even do another one on Saturday night because we always get we're getting big turnouts for these.
Yeah.
And honestly, it like Reb will tell you, it's a fucking blast. Like anybody
they're really fun.
Everybody's laughing, having a great time. Derek.
I was gonna say I also have a piece of housekeeping. It's next week, I believe. It was originally gonna be this week, and it's moved to next week. We're gonna have on Davion Gooden. I believe I said their name right, but it's the one of the three working on She Dreams Elsewhere, which is just a lovely indie, like Earthbound inspired, POC led RPG. We did an interview with Davion for PAX East 2020, which you can see on our YouTube channel. Davion's going to be on our show as a guest next week. And that's sure to be a good time. So, and we're gonna. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Derek. The Discord, the Nightbot Discord link is the old one, so it's invalid. I just posted the correct one in there. So if anybody was trying to get in, use the link I just posted.
I'll correct that tomorrow.
Fucking Nightbot.
Yeah, I'll correct that tomorrow. It's fine.
No, it's actually my fault. But
anyway, and then and we're gonna try we're working on our like schedule of guests, and we're trying not to have guests on like all the time because obviously like we want to be on the show, but we're gonna try to highlight some developers and have some have some good indie devs on to talk about their projects and to chime in on their commentary and because this is what we do, is what we're here for. It's I don't know. I'm really happy we're gonna have.
Super cool.
I'm really happy
I
we're gonna have
him at PAX East, and he is. These guys, I think you guys interviewed him too.
Yes.
He's really, really cool.
So lovable.
And his game is really good.
Yes, that's what we got.
Big Undertale energy, but also it's not like if you liked Undertale, I feel like you'll like that, but it's not a copy of Undertale.
Yeah, it's definitely very creative and very its own thing.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that the show? That's the show.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got. So remember, we got Davy on Good next week. We got a bunch of Animal Crossing community game night shit happening this weekend. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Stay healthy, wash your hands, stay sanitized, stay indoors. And as always, it's not always poetry, and we don't always agree, but we always keep it real. So until next week, take care of each other, look in on each other, and we'll see you later.